Welcome to Oilersnation Everyday with your hosts, Tyler and Liam.
Says here, Kelly McCrimmon will be reviewing Bruce Cassidy requests on a case-by-case basis. Well, Kelly, I have my friend Queen Elizabeth II here in case you change your mind. Let's get into it with the lead. If that doesn't work, I also have my friend W.L. Mackenzie King, who, for all you history buffs out there, had 2 stints as the Prime Minister of Canada from 1921 to 1930, took a brief 4 or 5 year hiatus, and was back in 1935, serving for another 13 years. This show is dedicated to him. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday. We are live from the Sports Closet studio. You can check them out online at sportscloset.ca.
Question 3.
Okay, so let me give people the background. First off, show's a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. So obviously getting this bit ready with the money before the show. And we got to talking about Sir W.L. Mackenzie King, and then we got onto the topic of how many prime ministers could you name?
I originally said 3, now I can name 5.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Trudeau, there's 2. Carney.
Pierre, Carney.
Yeah. Stephen Harper, and then Ronald McDonald guy.
Paul
JJ,
Martin. Johnny McDonald, Liam.
Johnny
You
McDonald.
just call him Ronald McDonald.
Common mistake.
So
and
now,
then from that, we got to Liam doing the citizenship test.
yeah, there's only 5 questions because I just did a quick brief one.
Okay.
First one, what is the capital city of Canada? Ottawa.
There you go. You're 1 for 1.
Now, this is one where we got stumped. There's multiple choice. I believe the citizenship test is multiple choice. What year did Newfoundland and Labrador join Canada?
So this ties in, history lesson, to what we talked about yesterday on the show, which is the end of Hockey Night in Canada.
Yes.
Because the original intro for Hockey Night in Canada was Canada in the United States, and in hello hockey fans in Canada and in the United States
really?
and in Newfoundland. So when Hockey Night in Canada started in 1952, they included that because Newfoundland was not quite a province yet, I believe.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
I think. I don't
So your original answer was 1957.
Yeah, because I
But
thought
it is
was,
out of 4.
Yeah.
So why don't I give you 1955 instead?
Okay, I'll take 55, yeah.
Okay. Also, too, we have had internet issues at the office today, just in case
been
that
terrible.
happens. Hopefully not. When did the British North America Act come into effect? 1871, 1898, 1867, or 1905? I think 1898 sounds like a good number.
I think it's 1905.
Ooh, like the Taylor Swift album.
I think that's
Actually,
what
that's not it at all. It's 1989.
I thought the Taylor Swift album was about that, but doesn't she have that line? Da da da. Then the British North American Act. But
Yeah, I think. Oh, that was in Bad Blood.
yeah, I'm gonna go 1905.
Okay, that's a good guess.
Show me 1905.
I have to do all
Show
5.
me.
I know Alberta became a province in 1905.
Well,
Which political party is in power in Alberta? The Conservative Party.
yeah, as always.
Okay.
Except for when we let those pesky NDPs in for a few years. Am I right?
Which province has its own time zone? Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Yeah.
Or is it Nova Scotia?
No, it's Newfoundland. They're 30 minutes off.
I knew they were 30. I wasn't
Kind
sure.
of dumb, but
People are saying 1949 for Newfoundland. Well, we already submitted our answers. All right, out of 5, how do you think we did? We got
3.
at least 1 wrong.
I think we got 3.
I know we got 1 right, though. We got 2 right. Let's just hope we got a 3rd. Come on. We got 3.
All right, are we citizens?
Majority rules. I would
Okay.
assume so. The only ones we got wrong we were both wrong on the British North America Act.
Oh, what year was
It was
that?
actually in 1867. And we were wrong on Newfoundland. It was 1949. It's kind of crazy. That must be the newest province or territory, I would assume.
Nunavut.
Is it really?
I think Nunavut was in the 90s.
Really?
I think so.
So was none of it its own country?
It was all Northwest Territories.
Oh, and
And they
gotcha.
split it up.
Okay. Well, there you go. 3 out of 5 ain't bad. That's
Look at us go.
67%.
Honestly, Nunavut might have been in the early 2000s, the early aughts.
Well,
1999.
damn.
All right.
Turn of the millennium.
So anyways, there's basically jack shit for us to talk about today, so we're kind of
Yeah.
doing this.
Someone is like, what do they teach you in Alberta? I always find this funny, and I know you're probably joking, but sometimes my fiance is a grade 6 teacher.
Yep.
And sometimes, like yesterday, they just did this test season, so they were doing practice tests. So she's like, let me see how you would do. But then she's like reading them out to me like they're fractions and decimals whilst I'm driving. And then I get them wrong. And he's like, you're not smarter than a 6th grader. It's like, well, I'm driving. I'd like to see a 6th grader drive trying to do math questions. They wouldn't pass either.
How many of her 6th graders do you think you could beat up?
I could beat them all up with my hands tied behind my back.
Oh, yeah, kicking for sure.
Yeah.
I love that hypothetical question where it's like, how many like 4th graders could you beat up? And it's like, oh, just get yourself into a bathroom stall, force them to come in single file, and just kick all of them as hard as you can. And like probably pretty close to unlimited.
Yeah.
Like it would take a long time for you to get tired.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And eventually, too, like,
They'll lose the will.
as the further you go down, the more they would struggle. Like, the scared they would, more scared they would become.
Fear would be a factor.
Yeah.
Get the cocky ones out of the way early.
Well, you'd hope the biggest kid would come first.
Yeah, and I don't think they would have the critical thinking skills to like save a powerful kid for later on.
No, the biggest kid would go first.
Yeah,
sure.
the biggest kid would go first. That's kind of how 4th graders think.
And then it would be all the boys after, and then you'd just be left with all the grade 6 girls that you would have to kick to beat up. Damn.
Okay. So there was news today in the NHL. We could probably get into that for our friends at Bright Dental, a family dental office located in St. Albert. They are also a Blue Diamond Invisalign provider. I was an Invisalign. I took Invisalign, or I had Invisalign, however you say that, for a couple of years.
Congrats.
Fixed my smile. Used to be all crooked. Now it's not. You can be just like me by going to Bright Dental. They also offer a wide range of dental services, including same-day crowns. Check them out online, brightdental.ca. Jim Hiller's the new head coach in Toronto.
Yeah, what a plot twist.
John Chaika talked to apparently 50-plus candidates and said, I want that guy.
Damn. 50 plus. That's good for them.
Yeah.
I think that's a good search, to be fair. Like,
Sure.
Hey, John Chaika, you've been at the league for a little bit. This is the biggest job in the NHL, no matter where they're at in the standings. It is interesting how they obviously came to Jim Hiller because we know him as the guy who made poor mistakes in the playoffs and helped the Oilers get through. But there was moments in those series where it's like, oh, shit, the LA Kings are kicking the crap out of the LA Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers right now.
Yeah. I do think there's a part of it. If you were one of those other finalists, in your final interview, if you know Jim Hiller's in the mix, how are you not just pulling up the clips from that Game 4 in the goalie challenge? I mean, like, guys, I might have done some dumb shit. I've never directly cost my team a
series.
Yeah.
They could have swept the Oilers. Like, we think this summer's bad. Imagine if they didn't get to 2 cup finals.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what would have happened, right? And, I mean, it kind of starts with Hiller. Pagnotta was on the big program today, lucky son of a gun. And he was talking about how Jim Hiller, we kind of think of him as this, like, defensive guy. Mm-hmm. But he said he was, like, very much just that's what the LA Kings wanted, and that's what he was kind of forced to become, where he believes that Jim Hiller is quite an offensive coach, which I think Michael Menzies always makes the comments of Babcock used to say that about Hiller, wasn't it him? And how he's like very analytically minded. So it does kind of line up with what the Kings would want, I guess you could say. And also, too, like, oh, wow. Coming down out there.
Yeah. My tea time's in danger tonight.
Oh, yeah. The only one tea time for me, it's 5:30. Sausages. But with Hiller as well, like, would you say the LA Kings they got offensive production out of guys who you wouldn't suspect? He's not had an offensive core like this. That's where
I'm going to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, or I would be giving him the benefit of the doubt if I was a Leafs fan, where it's like, okay, clearly he said something in the interview process. Like, I don't think Jim Hiller, when interviewing with John Chaika, was like, John, I got this great idea. We're going to play the 1-3-1. Like, I don't think that's what he said. I think he's too smart of a guy to do that. I do think that he looked at what he had in L.A., and it was like, well, we don't have the firepower to beat the Edmonton Oilers, so we can't play fire wagon hockey. We need to play defensively. We need to keep their big guns to the outside. All of that stuff. Like, I think him coaching that way in L.A. was a result of him trying to do the best with what he had. I don't think he looks at that team in Toronto and says, all right, Austin Matthews and William Nylander, get ready to stand in the neutral zone. Like, I do think he has it in him to coach this team a bit more up-tempo. So I'm not going to judge this one too hard. Do I think it's kind of funny? Yeah, because, like, the retread coaches thing and all of that. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, my God, they're going to come in last next year. Like, Jim Hiller's not that bad of a coach.
Oh, he was their coach for a while, too. He's an assistant coach there when Babcock was there.
For 4 years, yeah.
Yeah,
And apparently he has a very good relationship with Austin Matthews.
Actually, he might have been there. Oh, no, never mind. He was there until Babcock left. So, familiarity there, I'm sure that's a good thing and works out. If you said the relationship with Matthews is good. We'll see. I agree. I don't think they'll... I think what are they calling them? The Maple Leafs will be a lot better than they were last season. I just think situationally, they're not going to allow that to happen again. They've got too much talent on the team. It's not like the early 2010s team where it's like you have Dion Phaneuf kind of leading the way in a young cadre. Like, you've got legit stars that play in Toronto at the moment. And I think it kind of started yesterday with the way they're trying to maneuver some things. And do you think Alex Tuch could go there? I was thinking about that just because, like, it's relatively close to Toronto. To Buffalo. Everyone makes the obviously...
You know what would be a
He's a New
very
York guy.
tempting approach to take for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Tell me.
Do you overload a 3-year offer for Alex Tuch?
Like $10 million for 3 years?
Well, I'm thinking, no, you'd have to go more than that. I'm thinking like 12.5 for 3 years. And then it just lines up perfectly with when McKenna's done.
I forgot about McKenna as well.
Right?
Do you think that... Here's another interesting question. Do you think Tuch is the cadre of this year's class? Where, do you remember when he was a free agent? Everyone was like... It was a little bit different, I guess, because Tuch has been a bit more consistent. But everyone kind of knows he's not a $10 million player.
Yeah, but it was like, what team's going to jump first to pay him?
Yeah.
The difference was Kadri was in the flat cap era, and Tuch is in a year where, again, teams have money. So Tuch's 30 years old. The idea that he could take a 3-year deal, then at 33, be like, hey, if I play well, I could get another 4 or 5 year deal at $8 million a year at that point, honestly. And then I'm going to end up with, 36 from this Leafs deal, potentially another 40 from my last deal, and bing, bang, boom. I'm laughing. I just made myself $76 million.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Which would be the equivalent of a 7-year, $10.5 million now. Like, maybe there is something to be said about that.
The interesting thing is actually when Kadri got his deal with Calgary, he he finished with 28 goals that final year of Colorado when they won the cup and had 87 points, but only in 71 games. So let's just call it a 30-goal season. Tuch has only had 3 30-goal seasons too, and Kadri had already had multiple 30-goal seasons. It's interesting. And you're right. The flat cap is obviously play a huge factor in what happened to Kadri, but a part of me wouldn't be surprised if on day 2 of 3 of free agency being open, like Tuch is kind of still on the board.
Okay, we're getting some comments in the YouTube chat. How are you not talking about Cassidy getting permission? Okay. I think this is taking on a life of its own a little bit. Kelly McCrimmon, in his year-end availability, said that he has already granted a team permission to speak with Bruce Cassidy, and he will deal with it on a case-by-case basis going forward. We literally made a whole joke about it to start the show. The money, the prime ministers, the citizenship test, all that stuff.
Can I go on a limb here?
The team was obviously Toronto because Kelly McCrimmon said it didn't go anywhere.
He also interviewed 50 guys.
Yeah.
Eventually, you got to make your way to Bruce Cassidy.
So why are we not talking about Bruce Cassidy getting permission? Because he got permission to speak to a team that already hired their coach. McCrimmon said they're going to deal with it case by case going forward. And something tells me case by case doesn't include the Edmonton Oilers. Also, Dave Pagnotta, again, we've heard 4 or 5 insiders now all say this. The Oilers have their sights set on Mike Babcock. I don't think even this is going to maybe piss a lot of you guys off or whatever. I don't think that if Bruce Cassidy became available, they would pivot off Mike Babcock at this point.
I think the only way they would do it is if the league basically turned around and was like, he ain't coaching ever again.
Yeah.
Like, the NHL, I hope they do it, but we'll see. It would be absolutely insane. Now, we talked about it yesterday. They just come around like 84-game suspension.
And they
What
could
do you do?
absolutely do it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's out of the question. It's too bad it's kind of come this way, obviously. I mean, it's hard, like, just to be transparent, it's hard to keep talking about it because nothing else has happened. The Cassidy stuff is what it is. Like, he's not going to come here, unfortunately, and that sucks. But if the Vegas Golden Knights believe the Edmonton Oilers not only are a huge division rival, which they obviously are, we all see that, but like, if they believe they're the ones who released all this stuff to the media about them requesting permission to talk to Cassidy, then I think they have every right to be pissed off about it. And why should they help the Edmonton Oilers out?
If they want to eat the money, they, I guess, can eat the money. No team's ever done it. But if they're sitting there saying, nope, there's a competitive advantage to us keeping him, and we're keeping him.
Here's what it is.
It is what it is.
It's just like not trading with, like...
Holy Christ, is it ever pouring? I just took out my headset. Wow.
Damn. Yeah, Robert says, apparently McDavid and Nicole do want Babs. Yep, we've
Sure.
kind of gone over
We
that.
know.
You're
So,
right.
okay.
And
God, I love you guys because you watch this show every day still. And yesterday we had 800 people watching, and we're at 600 right now on YouTube alone. And I'm sure we'll get to 800 at some point in the show. That means a lot to me that you guys still, in the middle of the off season, more or less, or at the beginning of the off season, want to tune into this show on your lunch break. That truly means a lot to me. We're not spending every show for the next week talking about how bad of an idea Mike Babcock is. If you've been watching this show for the last week, you know how I feel about it. You know how Liam feels about it. We know how 98% of the hockey world feels about Mike Babcock being hired. I'm really not opening up the show every day and being like, well, today, let's talk about how stupid of an idea Mike Babcock is. Like, we've done it. We all know how everybody feels. No comment you could put in there is like I'll be blunt, a mildly interesting take to me. We know what the situation is. We will wait until they hire Mike Babcock. There's going to be an investigation. Elliott, Pagnotta, CJ, Frank, everybody comes out, all those insiders come out and say it's probably going to be a quick investigation and it's probably going to end with the Oilers hiring him. So we'll wait.
I will
It's
say...
a monsoon?
Yeah, everything... Eli, do you mind opening these curtains so I can...
I want to watch a little bit.
It's heavy rain. That's like
Damn.
like borderline hail.
And should we move his camera so someone can see? No, don't do that.
No, that's the camera. That's on me.
I just, yeah. I mean...
Super Wing is in. Montembeau on brand. Or Montembeau to the Oilers sounds on brand for Edmonton. Talked about that yesterday. Don't think it happens.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I did think about that a little bit last night, too. The idea that it's not a bad idea, as it seems. I think he had a really terrible season. And what do we learn about goalies? They have the ability to bounce back. We talked about it yesterday, but, like, you can't do him and Jari.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough idea.
That
Tough
stopped
idea.
raining pretty much
soon as they
exactly
did
as we
that.
set up the camera.
Damn.
But it is pretty wet outside, guys.
Crazy. Also, the pool's gone. Notice that?
Interesting.
We had a polygram. Is that what it's
Polygraph.
called? Polygraph in today.
You've said every way
So
to say it except the
I don't
correct
know.
one.
We haven't talked about it a ton on this show, but basically, for the last 3 weeks, someone's been leaving ducks everywhere around the office. There's little ducks like the one in my hand. There's big ducks downstairs. There's messages. There's pools. There's all this stuff. So Ryder and Lisa got a guy who does professional polygraph tests to come in today. Pretty interesting to find out that a lot of his clients are spouses trying to polygraph their other spouse about cheating. Sounds not fun at all. I'm assuming this qualifies as a good day of work for him. But anyways, he's putting a bunch of employees here through the polygraph test because we're all trying to figure out who's leaving these ducks everywhere. This is what it was like when Ryder and Lisa, one of them, showed up at the office today.
Sure it was.
Ducks everywhere. So this has been going on for a while. I have a couple of theories. One,
Quickly, we did not figure out Pubegate yet. That's next.
yeah,
That's next. We're gonna have to figure that one out. That's gonna be a tough sort. So
and this obviously makes sense if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on podcast, we're panning through the office right now and showing you a whole bunch of ducks that are everywhere. There's two theories here. One, this is Ryder and Lisa, Ryder and or Lisa, because before they worked here, people weren't doing shit like this.
no, can afford to.
There was no whimsy. There was no fun. And I made sure it stayed that way. Now they're here and there's nonsense happening and group chats are going off 100 times a day. So there is a very easy line to draw to like Ryder and Lisa did this as a way to almost do like show content, right?
Yeah.
The other part of this is we have a new marketing intern. His name's Cooper. His last name's Waddle. And Maddie in marketing. And if I think about someone who would have the commitment to pull off the bit like this, and also the resources, because if you're spending all this money on the Ducks, if someone's doing this out of pocket, with the amount of Ducks we've seen, I shit you not, they've spent $200 on Ducks.
I would argue more. I looked on Amazon. Those big Ducks are $30 a piece.
Someone may have spent close to $400 on Ducks. Marketing has the ability to expense this stuff, and they have a budget that is separate from like show and all these other budgets. So they could do it. Mm-hmm. I think my leading theory is that this is Cooper and Maddie in our marketing department, and this is going to end with them. This is like their way of teasing us along, and it's going to be some tie into like our year-end staff party. And it'll be like, want to find out who did the Ducks? You got to come to the pool party at Jay's house for our year-end staff party. That's my new leading theory.
It's a good theory, and I think I would love it to be Cooper. Everyone keeps thinking I'm a bit mean what I wrote on the board about Cooper, but it was not up there.
What'd you write on the board about Cooper?
I put looking to find a role, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean he's been here at the time, he'd only been here for like a month. None of us really know him. Looking to find a role. It's not a bad thing.
Office prankster role was
Is
wide
what
open.
it is. I mean, a Duck guy.
But this
a
is
pretty big role.
This is, Noah's last name's Waddle. His name is Cooper Waddle.
Also, he's a big swimmer.
He is a big swimmer, which is also kind of weird.
He was on the U of A swim team.
He
And
brought a pool to the office.
brought a pool to the office, and then also to lifeguard. There's a decent chance you can just grab these from your other job.
That's a good point.
So there you go.
So access to Ducks, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But you put in your vote. You said it's Ryder and Lisa.
Well, I just said Lisa. She's kind of been the one I've been on. She keeps texting me all these theories, and every single time I just spin it directly back to her, and she just dislikes my text, and that is the end of our text chain.
I'm still Ryder all the way. He goes silent every time we talk about it. He looks down and he doesn't speak words.
They also wouldn't do the test. They're like, oh, everyone else is going to do it first. Yeah. Not a coincidence. Some things are not a coincidence around here.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully this ends soon because there's just a lot of Ducks everywhere. And there you go. June, folks.
June in the Oilers Nation offices.
It's definitely not Rick. Rick's not around often enough.
No. And like again, you got to know people's personalities. Like this is if this was something that was done over like a 24-hour stretch, the list is more open. The fact this is involving a ton of money, the fact this is involving a ton of commitment of like showing up early or staying late when no one else is here. You can take me out of it. You can take Liam out of it. You can take Aaron out of it. You can take probably Brett and Eli. You can take a lot of people out of this, I think.
Yeah. Payton, definitely not capable.
Not coming to the office all that much.
No, you have to cut. Waz has a girlfriend. That was
Really?
in my notes.
Yeah.
No,
Take him out of it. All right.
So,
Landon Ferraro is our guest today. Remember that rant I did about how we're not going to do a lot of Babcock talk? We are going to ask him a little bit because he'll give us a fresh perspective that's not just Liam and I saying the same shit all over again.
And he played with him.
And he
played under him.
We do have a little bit more news to get to, though. Shout out to Robert Clarke, Oilers anthem singer, who announced on his social media today that he is cancer-free. So that's great news from our friend Robert Clarke. Want to give some props to him. So, yeah, best of luck to Robert Clarke.
Yep, that's great news.
And way to kick cancer's ass. We've never met you, but we're proud of you.
Now, that's some June news we wanted.
Some what?
June news we wanted.
June news.
But that's what I have said.
I don't know. Anyways, there you go. Best news ever.
Yeah, that's great. Congrats.
I think it's a congrats.
Yeah?
Totally.
Okay,
You definitely celebrate when that happens.
Yeah.
So shout out to Robert Clarke.
He won the battle.
I wasn't sure if congrats is just like a weird thing to say.
No, I don't think so.
I'm happy for him. That's great news.
We got a trade yesterday. Ross Colton goes from the Colorado Avalanche to the Nashville Predators. Do you want my pure hockey take or my conspiracy theory take?
We have the same conspiracy theory take. Hey, you can go to Nashville, but you have to take Ross Colton with you.
Yeah, you can go to Nashville, but you're taking Ross Colton and giving us picks for him.
Yes.
Ross Colton scored 9 goals in 72 games last year, played under 10 minutes in each of their conference final games. He's making $4 million. Now, the actual hockey take here and not the conspiracy take, because if you don't know, Chris McFarland, the new general manager and Poho of the Preds, was hired away from the Avs like 2 weeks ago. That is why there's a theory that, hey, maybe this was like the wink, you can take that new fancy job, but you owe us one, and this is the you owe us one.
Yeah.
On the other side, Liam, I do think this is part of the reason why we need to, I've said this a bunch of times, rewire our brains a little bit when it comes to off-season talk.
Okay.
In previous years, this is a contract that you're trying to dump. You're attaching a mid-round pick to, something like that. 1 year, $4 million. It isn't absurd, but it's a player who's not living up to that contract.
He's also only 29.
He's also only 29, so that is a part of it. He's not 35, so fair. But in the new sort of world of the NHL, every team has cap space, and there aren't a lot of free agents. Ross Colton actually probably gets a multi-year deal at $3 to $4 million on the open market.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that Nashville trades for him. Eric Holla is a free agent. This probably means Eric Holla isn't coming back to Nashville.
Holla, holla.
And this is a chance for them to take a run on a 29-year-old in Ross Colton. And if it doesn't work, if they're out of the playoffs, they'll probably get something half decent for him at the deadline. So they'll be able to recoup some of the assets if it doesn't work. So I think this goes back to, like, with some of these contracts that we would previously have viewed as dead money and all of that stuff, I think there's a bit of, remember, everyone has cap space. Not everyone has assets now. Teams who have assets will be willing to use it, even if cap space traditionally would have been a problem. It's just not going to be anymore.
And Nashville still have 5 third-round picks over the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild. Also, too...
And 6 second-rounders in that.
Yeah, they got a ton of picks. He now becomes their 5th highest paid forward.
That's pretty
They
crazy.
just don't have a lot of guys in Nashville. I think that needs to be a part of it, too. Do I believe in it? They'll believe in the conspiracy theory? Yes, I do think this was a bit of a favor. But at the end of the day, I think you're right. If this becomes sour in Nashville and things start going in the wrong direction, which they look like they probably will, because they don't have a lot of... They're a very top-heavy team, aren't they, if you even want to call it top-heavy. But like they have Stamkos, Marchessault, O'Reilly, Forsberg. It's kind of everyone else. But you guys at the trade deadline, it's like, hey, we can trade Ross Colton. We could probably get those 2 third-round picks back if we want to just make it a second.
Yep.
And we'll be fine. So I think it helps in both ways. But one name... Ryan O'Reilly.
No trade protection. Chris McFarland does not really owe him the same loyalty that the previous regime did. Ryan O'Reilly's on the market, man.
He's a free agent at the end of this obviously upcoming season.
What would you be willing to part with if you're the Oilers for Ryan O'Reilly at 50% retained?
Oh, I would just do the Jason Dickinson trade and just
First
add a
round pick?
couple more picks if I have to. Yeah.
Would you trade Ike Howard for him? 1 year, 50% retained?
No, I wouldn't. But I think that I would do picks. And then, I mean, maybe there's a contract you can throw in there. I'm not sure who it would be off the top of my head. But Mangiapane was obviously in that deal. I still think that
Howard,
trying to hypnotize me.
Howard and Trent Frederick, straight up Ryan O'Reilly.
No,
Yo, you got to say yes, dude. You got to say yes.
I mean, just getting out the Frederick trade deal is obviously the part of it, but you're giving up a lot.
Don't clip this. Trade proposal not ready for internet. Nashville says no to that. That's not enough.
Yeah, it's probably not. But like, I'm trying to think if I would do it. I mean, obviously, Ryan O'Reilly's the best player in that trio, of course.
You get the best player and you get out of a bad contract.
Yeah, and that's probably the only reason why you would want to do it. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think Nashville would do it. You're right.
You'd probably have to add a first to that as well. If Ryan O'Reilly costs you 2 good assets and you just give him 2 great assets,
I don't think you would have to. I think Howard would be your first.
Okay, and then a second. Howard second, Freddie.
Yeah, maybe something. Maybe a mid-round pick, but
yeah,
it's interesting. I'm curious about Nashville because after that, like I said, it's just a lot of like random dudes.
Yeah,
who are talented. Don't get me wrong. A lot of first-round picks: Brady Martin, Matthew Wood, Reed Schaefer, Joachim Kemmel.
Joachim Kemmel.
Is that his name?
I don't know.
All right.
Here we go. Quick update. It's still raining. Chances of me golfing tonight, I'll say 30%. Not good. Definitely not good. There's our live rain cam.
I love this.
It is good.
We're going to lose this.
Yeah, it's our last show in this studio. We got to move back downstairs because they're going to start renting this back out as an Airbnb next week. Before we get to our guest line, Liam, couple of updates. This is from at AKA RCN, who is listening to the Brian Burke interview on the sheet right now.
Oh,
Burke drops in 2 pieces of information.
hit me with it, Brian. Who doesn't
First one.
BS.
No, he doesn't. Berkey says there's too much bad blood between Edmonton and Vegas, says he knows things he can't mention.
Whoa.
Oof.
That could be anything.
He then tweeted, pretty sure Berkey just said that the Babcock investigation could take up to 60 days.
Hell yeah. I believe some people were even saying that a true investigation by the NHL is supposed to take up to 12 months.
If these
this is, I just don't get it, man. Like, why? Well, again, this is not to go on the Babcock thing, but like, if any coach you are about to hire is about to get investigated,
yeah,
and it could take that long, why are you doing this?
You know, when sometimes people will like camp out for concert tickets or for like the release of something, and you'll be like, hey, if you're a fan of that and you gotta wait, 12 hours to get to be at the front of the line, like, good on you for the commitment. This is like waiting in line for 12 hours just for someone to kick you in the dick.
August 10th. That's the day we'd all get kicked in the dick.
I'll be on vacation that week, so fucking have at her, boys.
This happened
I
last
just
time.
changed my mind.
Bowman got hired when you were on your honeymoon.
Oh yeah.
I had to do a show with Waz
Classic.
on location.
Okay, let's go to our guest line. It's brought to you by your Prairie Toyota dealers. Looking to dominate off the ice as much as your team does on it? Check out the Toyota Tacoma. Its standard I-Force engine boasts an impressive towing capacity of up to 6,400 pounds. Look at that. In the mountains, on the prairies, you can do it all. Whether you're hauling gear to the rink or heading to an away game, you can tackle it with ease. Experience power, capability, and convenience with the Toyota Tacoma. Now you can lease a 2026 Tacoma for $110 weekly at 5.69% APR financing for 60 months with how much down, Liam?
$7,900.
$7,099. 0 for 6.
Damn it.
Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer. It's time to Toyota. As we welcome in former NHLer Landon Ferraro to the program. Landon, how are you doing today? Nice Lululemon hat.
Yeah, I got about halfway done buzzing my head before this, and it died. So the closest hat is a nice Lululemon one that you don't put on in summertime because it is corduroy and it sweats. Not good, even in your own house. It's a hot head up here.
Corduroy made a comeback in the last 12 months, though. Even more, probably about 18 months. Corduroy came flying back into the fashion scene.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. I would have no idea.
I was about to say, is that so? I feel like the other two over here, we don't know it. Nope. I'm wearing the same stuff, right? Just, I've got a 2.5-year-old. I now understand dad style. It's not because, they got older and lost style. No, laziness has kicked in. You throw a pair of jeans on, the closest pair of shoes, and hope that you don't have something on your sweatshirt.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
That's fair.
It's a great day.
Let's start. We were just yammering on about some Babcock updates from different corners of the hockey world. I know, obviously, you and Liam talked about this last week when you were on the show, but the idea, and this has been something that's been floated out, Gregor had the report where like agents and players are kind of doing the whole like, we won't go there, we won't play there, even if Connor and Leon are there. Like Babcock's enough of a deterrent. Do you buy that like this could actually affect their ability to make trades and get free agents, or is that just kind of fluff?
100% it'll affect it.
Okay.
Right? Like for someone that has this much backstory and it's been like this, like Babcock's not just another coach, right? Like he was the pinnacle for 10 years and what he said goes. When you bring someone like that back, like that doesn't change, right? Like there's only so much that can happen in that time. For younger players that are hearing that, like why would you put yourself in that if you don't have to? Whether it's true or not, like for a lot of guys, it'll be like, I'm not even going to put myself in that mess. Because even if it works out, like realistically, what's that first month in training camp going to be like? the questions, the amount of media that's going to be around it, if Babcock's there, like it just, again, it's what we were talking about last week, but like it's just so much extra drama that's just not needed. For a team that's saying that they just need that one extra thing to push them over the hump, they're going to throw a massive drama piece into that. That's not bringing you close to a championship, at least in my opinion.
I agree, and I think the other side of it too is there's obviously the investigation, and who knows how long that could last. And what did Brian Burke just say? It's supposed to last.
Could last 60 days. That's insane.
Like, and you would obviously know, you've been around it, but like, how important is it to have a coach in place through the summer? I guess, like, how much involvement do they have in things and all that? Like, does it? They're obviously working. I'm not saying they're not, but like, does their job become way more important when you say like middle of August, late August, as you're getting close to September?
I mean, their job's important to, like, in their own bubble for the summer, right? Like, they're getting their camp ready and all of that and what they want to change or whatever it is, planning for the season. The coaches have their meetings. They'll reach out once in a while, but not much. Like, I would say that it's important for free agency because you'll be talking there. Like, you know, I can't remember who I was listening to, but they were talking about Ehlers and how much Brendan Moore was talking to him during that process about what his role is and what he would mean to that team. Like, that played a major part in Ehlers signing in Carolina. So that part of it's huge, but as soon as the free agents are done, like, to be honest, the coach is at his summer house, you're at yours, and things are pretty separate.
On the coaching front, Jim Hiller is the guy in Toronto. They talk with over 50 names, and they land on Jim Hiller. He has an interesting background. There's some analytics there. Has a relationship with Austin Matthews since he was on Babcock's staff in those early years in Toronto. But what do you make of this hire? Like, again, for a guy like Chaika, I thought he was going to go way out of the box in a different way. I thought it was going to be a coach, first time in the NHL, forward thinking, all of that. I'm surprised it's a guy like Hiller.
Yeah, I thought I'm right along the same lines as you. Like, I thought we'd be having a discussion about, like, who this new Dan Muse is. Mm-hmm. Like, who is this guy? Right? And I figured with the success of Muse in Pittsburgh, the success of Carberry in Washington, like, those younger guys getting their chance with a younger group, and they're able to really find something out of that. Not saying that Jim Hiller's a bad coach. Like, I'm not saying that at all, but at the same time, he's had a few kicks at it now, and what has been there that you're like, okay, we need to give him the next chance again, right? So, to me, I don't know, I'm not saying it's a bad hire, but I am a little disappointed that there wasn't, after that many talking to that many people, that there wasn't someone newer, like, to come in and bring in that fresh energy, new vision, realistically, probably a lot of the same.
Obviously, the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup the other day.
Big news.
That was big.
Yep, that was cool.
I would say, very unique situation they've got going now. They have a lot of cap space, but they won the Cup, and they've got a lot of good players. Do you think what they do in Carolina is just very unique, or do you think it can be replicated? Because, and the reason I'm asking is, like, we're here, obviously, in Edmonton. We're only talking about we have to win this year. And maybe that's just where they're at in their process. But, like, Carolina never thinks that way. It's like, well, if we don't win this year, we'll have a good enough team to win this the next year, year after that. They have, like, 5 first-round picks over the next 3 years. What do you just make of that whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, right? Because as soon as someone lifts the Stanley Cup, all of us start talking and GMs start talking about how do you try and replicate that. And for the Hurricanes, like, realistically, I feel like there's one team that can truly try and replicate that right now, and that's Vancouver, because they're literally at the start of a rebuild.
Yeah.
Right? Like, to be able to do what Carolina's done, like, this doesn't happen over a couple of years. Like, this is years of sticking to your process when all of us are kind of chirping Tulski and the Hurricanes about not going and getting that star player or bolstering their lineup because they have cap space. They believe in what they had. And when they got to a point where they felt like they were deep enough, then they took a swing at Rantanen. And it doesn't work, well, they can flip again because they have options. And even if that trade doesn't work, I mean, yeah, you're not happy about it, but you just said, like, look at all the draft picks, the cap space. Like, they could fix their problem easily, really. And when you talk about the Oilers and the win now, yes, they're in a win now mode, and I mean they're on a clock. Like it's about as win now as you can possibly be. But you look at decisions that are made, and when you're in that type of pressure and that situation, mistakes happen, right? Like I'm not saying the Oilers are the Canucks, and I think we talked about this last week, or maybe it was someone else, but like you look at the Canucks and like they had a pretty good team, and they didn't want to really try and build it. They just kind of like, oh, if we patch up here, this could put us over the top. Or if we get this piece, then we're all right. You start making trades for draft picks or throwing draft picks out. Then you start trading your prospects. Before you know it, you have nothing. And you're chasing something that's not there. I'm not saying it's not there for Edmonton, but at the same time, you start looking at some of the moves that have happened, like they're knee-jerk, and they're going to be hard to recover from, right?
Well, so like what's interesting about that is how like Carolina winning their cup, it can almost like rewrite history a little bit, where you're right. We were all chirping for the last couple of years where it's like you keep getting to the conference finals, losing and keeping all the same players. Like what the hell is wrong with you? You need a superstar, trade Aho, all this stuff. And then you win a cup, and all of a sudden those years maybe aren't even viewed as failure as much as they are like, wow, they won, they got to the conference finals, like, and they were committed to their process. And I think about the Oilers. We look back on that Oilers team in 2024, and it was like, hey, they didn't win the cup, but they got so close, lost in Game 7, and then they spent the summer being like, how are we going to get better? How are we going to improve? Connor Brown out the door, all these other pieces. They spent like crazy on July 1st to get Skinner and Arvidsson, and it's like, whoa, in hindsight, maybe you should have just stuck with your process, taking care of the Brobergs and Holloways and said, hey, we were close, we'll run it back. But like going and winning really can rewrite your history a little bit and how you're viewed, because those failures now aren't failures for Carolina. They're now just the necessary steps and building blocks that they had to take to be champions.
And looking at that, right, like what ended up happening out of all that patience is the deepest team, right? Like, yeah, they don't have their star, but they're technically first line. I mean, they scored some massive goals, don't get me wrong, but like they did not play and produce to a first line level that's going to win a Stanley Cup, but the second and third lines easily could jump in, right? So like they trusted it, and not only that, but what they did during that time between Tulski and Brendamore and the core of those guys that committed to it and really, have stuck it through there is like they set up their identity and they set up what a Carolina Hurricanes player is, to the point where they can start looking around at other teams and seeing guys that are floundering, but they see the work rate, they see that they can read man coverage, like they can make quick hockey IQ reads, things like that, and they're now comfortable that, well, we can drop him into this system and it's going to work, and he's going to be better because he's got all that support around him. And it's as hard as it is as a system to play, like man-on-man defense, it's easy. It's easy to get beat if you're not good at it, but it's easy. You get back, there's Tyler, okay, I'm not leaving him until we leave the zone again, right? So like it brings things down. When you look at other teams trying to fill out, and this is where the rewriting history, not just for your team, but for the league starts to jump in, is, okay, Florida wins. Now everyone's trying, we got to go get tough. We got to go get bigger. We got to go get this. Like that team's not very big in Carolina, but Stankoven gets crushed 3 times in Game 6, and he still makes plays all over the ice. It doesn't matter. You can't have a team of 5'8" guys, all of them, but at the same time, because of Carolina's system, they're comfortable having different guys in different spots because they can play it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Darnell Nurse news came out the other day too. He submitted a trade request for, is it 3 to 5
3
teams?
to 5 teams.
They're obviously going to have to find a replacement for him. Would you go? So let's just say they get rid of the $9 million or $7, whatever. Would you go directly and like try and find another top 4 defenseman, or would you try and spread out that money? Maybe add like 2 forwards and hope Wallman can take some more of the minutes from Nurse, and then grab like a bottom pairing defenseman.
I think that's tough to ask Wallman to do that. Like I don't think you have a choice in, like, you have to replace Nurse. Wallman has shown that he can be really good at points. He also has some hiccups when the ice time gets heavier. And on top of that, he gets hurt a decent amount.
Yeah.
So, like, you're now talking about a guy that it's almost guaranteed he's going to be out 15 games. And, well, there's a quarter of the season or whatever that is now. But, like, it's tough to, okay, Wallman's going to take some more minutes, but that also means that the guys underneath that are going to have to take some more minutes. I don't see that ending well. We can debate Darnell Nurse all we want at what he is as a player and what his deficiencies are, because there is deficiencies there for sure. But man, like, he plays hard, he eats good minutes. It's going to be hard to find someone that's going to do all of that, right? The only issue here is that he makes
Too much
what he makes.
Yeah.
If he's making 5.5 or 6 even, like, there's no issue. It's a bad contract with a player that plays serviceable minutes for the Oilers, right? Like, it's a tough situation, but I don't see how you don't replace his minutes with someone externally.
What do you think of someone like Jamie Oleksiak? He doesn't bring, obviously, the offense that Nurse could potentially bring to your lineup, but the team would lack a bit of size on the blue line, and obviously Jamie Oleksiak is massive.
Yeah.
So that would be helpful. Do you think he could be someone they should look at?
He is big.
Yeah. Define big, Jamie Oleksiak.
No, like, he's someone to look at for sure. I think that with his size and, like, legit just stay-at-home defenseman, like that, like, I almost wish that Nurse would have found a bit more of that part of just don't even attempt the offense. Even though he has the skill to do it, his best hockey came in playoffs and stuff where, like, it's just all he focused on was his intensity and, like, being hard to play against. It's when he's trying to jump up and make the extra plays that gets himself into some trouble sometime. So looking at Oleksiak, like, the thing that I do like with thinking of bringing in someone of that size is instantly, what smaller defenseman can we bring in that's a lot more skilled as well? Right? A young guy that can dance around a little and let him get some breath. And who knows, maybe by the second half of the season, he starts to find his game like a Savoy did last year. Right? Like, but you can't do that with Wallman as his partner. Or, you know what I mean? So, like, it does give you some other flexibility of go finding a cheap young player that you can give a try to. That doesn't work, then fine. He go back on waivers or whatever it is, right? Like, that's where I'd like to see Edmonton try more, is like using the waiver wire a bit more and taking chances on some of those younger guys that cost nothing, that you can move in and out a bit, because you're gonna hit one of them eventually. And you're going to find a player that might change everything for you.
Well, when they did do that, they got Kasperi Kapanen, and he ended the season on the first line for them. Yeah. You know, they took a chance. And
exactly.
A guy who, obviously, he was injured every now and then, but like when he played, yeah, I'd say he was pretty solid for them.
Right, but that's a great example because, like, Kapanen's issue coming into Edmonton, why he was even on waivers, was like he just couldn't find any consistency in his game, right? Like, he'd have these really good stretches where it's what we've seen with the Oilers, where it's unreal skating and forechecking. He's got some finishing ability, and then it would disappear for a month. Like, but that's kind of exactly what I'm saying. Even though he's a bit older, Like, he gets to Edmonton, and for whatever reason, with this, maybe it's because it's the pace they play at, like, he's found more consistency here. And you found a better bargain type player out of it.
It's going to be do you know one thing about the blue line? While they're obviously trying to get rid of Nurse, like Connor Murphy is such a huge wrinkle in all of this. Because if they don't get Murphy back and they move out Nurse, then all of a sudden 2 of your top forwards, your second pairing is just gone.
That's a lot of minutes you got to go out and replace on the free agent market.
Yeah,
And that's the heavier minutes too, right? Like, those are your penalty killing, blocking shot, taking the extras kind of shit all over the place, right? So it's a big wrinkle. And again, like, this brings us back to, I think it was the very first or second question of Babcock. Like, does an older veteran that's been around and known a lot of guys that have played for him, has he already made I mean, guaranteed he's talked about it, but like, is that something he's waiting on? Like, I want to know what's happening first. 100% it is. Whether it was Babcock or not, like, this is where you need the coach in, because it is going to hold up guys signing, especially older guys that know that, like Connor Murphy, I believe he's my age, he's 35. Like, he's got a couple of years left. Like, you can't go throw yourself into something without knowing who's running the ship really yet.
I think that's a great point. If I'm Connor Murphy, I'm like, hey, I'm either going to free agency, or if I'm signing with you, I need to know the situation. So that brings this whole thing full circle, because if you wait 60 days potentially for a Mike Babcock investigation to finish up, I think that would be a very stupid thing for the Oilers to do.
And let's be fair here too. So they're going to do the investigation, say they do wait it out. Like, I mean, it's pure speculation, but like, in what world is whatever comes back, even if it's something smaller, it's still going to be something.
yeah.
Right? So, again, like, what are we waiting for? Really? Like, I mean, I just stuttered. I don't even, like, I can't even get to the next part, because I don't even know what the next sentence would be other than that of, they're not finding nothing. If years later they're like, oh, hey, we actually need to do this.
Yeah. And then the final angle on it, not to keep going, but like, what if he gets suspended?
What if
he's just gone for half the season, and it's like, oh, we haven't had a head coach all summer, and now we don't have one for half the season.
Well, you're going to have a couple happy assistants that get their chance.
Yeah, I guess
we'll
that's
get a nice Christmas bonus for doing the extra work.
Yeah. All right, Landon, as always, appreciate your time. Thanks for popping on. We'll chat again next week.
Yep, have a good one, guys.
There you go.
See you, Landon.
Landon Ferraro for our friends at your Prairie Toyota dealers, Liam.
God, I love him over there.
Prairie Toyota dealers or Landon?
Well, both.
Mm-hmm. They've both been great to us. Okay. Something to get to. It is our first question, Liam. 12:54. Our first question is brought to you by our friends at Capital GMC Buick. Maybe we shouldn't have done a full citizenship test earlier in the show. Would have had time to get to our first question.
Oh, we passed.
We did. Check out their extensive inventory of top quality vehicles like the 2026 GMC Terrain Denali or the 2026 Sierra Denali Ultimate. They're online, capitalgmcbuick.ca. Robert, did we cover Ross Colton to the Preds?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We think it's a conspiracy.
we actually do.
Yeah, we do. We think that was kind of part of the deal. Chris, you can leave, but you have to take Ross Colton because you signed him.
Yep. That's your guy. Okay.
Do you like Oleksiak?
I'm very meh. I think he's going to get too much money.
That's what I worry about too. Like, I think he can play.
Yeah.
And I think I obviously like his size. Like, that's good. But like, do I want to just tie myself to Tyler Myers? You know what I mean? Like, you eventually just look to get out of those guys because you overpaid them for being big.
The D market is kind of like, it's the deepest of any position on the free agency market.
Which is good for the Oilers.
Yeah.
Kesselring, I do like that name. Why not bring
He's
him
an
back?
RFA. He's a right shot, though.
So how would that work? Like, I know our RFA works, but do you think, is he...
Probably doesn't cost you more than a mid-round pick.
And the offer sheet stuff, for a guy like that, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Because it's just, for example, let's just say he cost $4 million. The Oilers would have to do $4 million. But he's not a $4 million player for Buffalo to actually have to deny it, I guess.
Which is why it's better to just go trade the pick for him route and sign him to a 3 by 2.25.
Who's on that? Is it UFA Group 6 guys?
No, it's just RFAs.
No. But who's on that list this year? The Group 6 UFAs.
Oh, I don't know.
Because there's sometimes some decent names out there.
I can pull that up.
Sounds good.
But the first question today for Capital GMC Buick. Obviously, the buyout window's open in the NHL. Now, if you're looking at the Edmonton Oilers, there's really nobody that they could buy out. Tristan Jarry's contract is buyout proof, as is Darnell Nurse's. What that means is because there's such a heavy amount of bonus money involved, there's really not a team there's really no incentive to buying him out. 2026-27, if you were to buy him out this year, he has 2 years left at 5.375.
This is Jarry.
Jarry.
Okay.
This upcoming season, you would only save $660,000, and then the next season you would save 1.1.
What's the point?
Yeah, and then you're signing up for 2 years of dead cap at $500K after that. Yeah. You're better off. You save more money by burying him in both of the seasons. So Jarry doesn't make a ton of sense for the Edmonton Oilers. Darnell Nurse, obviously, it's the exact same thing with Darnell Nurse, who has 4 years at 9.25. A whole bunch of it is bonus money, which gets calculated differently. It's basically unbuyoutable. So you would only save the next 4 years with Nurse. You save $1.5 million. For the next 3 years, you save $700,000, and then it's 4 years of a $466,000 penalty. So again, you would save more money burying him in the minors. So it doesn't make sense. I know some people were like, hey, what if you just really wanted to get out of the Trent Frederick deal already and buy him out in year one? You'd be signing up for 14 years of dead cap space.
It's Rick DiPietro's music.
Granted, the final 7 years are only $800,000 of dead cap space.
Good. We'll all be gone by then.
But the years of savings, 1.7, 1.7, 1.5, 1.5, 1.3, 1.8, 1.8. You would have to go replace the roster spot for that much money. Yeah. So it's kind of pointless. Or not kind of pointless. It is very, very pointless. And then I think we'd all agree that there really isn't anyone else that makes sense to buy out. You have Janmark at 1.45. Buying him out would save you $700,000. Burying him would save you $1.2 million.
I think with Trent Frederick, too, I'm sure most people would agree, out of those three players, he has the ability to actually hit his contract value.
He has the ability to get back to earning 75% of that money.
Yeah, like he can get the closest. Nurse is just never going to be a 9.25. I mean, I guess Jarry probably could get back to being a $5 million goalie. We did see it for a few games last season. But, yeah, they're back contract. And I don't think I don't think the Oilers will be on buying anyone out. Did you hear what Frank said yesterday on the big program?
No.
So he was talking about a few guys that could get bought out, and it was your obvious names. Kotkaniemi was one of them.
Yep.
But you brought up an interesting name, which, I mean, why would I think about this guy? But like Caden Korzak. Mm-hmm. So he just signed a mega deal in Vegas for however long, but it's like $4.5 million or something like that.
He has a $3.25 million extension with 4 years left on it. But because he's 25 or under, his buyout calculation, you don't have to give him 2/3 of his money. You only have to give him 1/3 of his money. So Vegas, this coming year would only save $700,000. Next year, 2.7. Next year, 2.7. Next year, 2.7.
It's interesting. I mean, it seems unlikely that would happen, but interesting name. And he did say, he's like, this is not me, your point. It's just like me wondering. He's a guy who with healthy scratched in the playoffs, and now he's got his contract coming. If I'm not mistaken, didn't the Oilers think about doing this with Yamamoto and then just traded him to Detroit?
He was an RFA that year. Yeah, he was. Him and Costin were RFAs,
and then Yamamoto just became a free agent?
Yeah, and signed in Seattle.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. But the thing with Korzak, too, like $3.25 million, we just saw Ross Colton get you assets. You're telling me if Vegas picked up the phone and called a rebuilding team like San Jose and was like, do you want Caden Korzak for free? San Jose would be like, oh, fuck yeah.
How old is he? He's 25?
He's 25, 26, yeah. That's why he's eligible for the buyout.
Oh, right. Of course. You said that. Sorry. He's a good player.
Yeah. So the first question, again, was going to be just that, are there any players who could get bought out that you think the Oilers should have interest in? Kotkaniemi is mildly interesting.
Yeah, if you can get him cheap.
Real cheap.
I do find it interesting now that Carolina didn't want to play him. Who else is going to get bought out? Let's hear some of the names. I guess.
So Frank's list was Kotkaniemi, Palat, Pierre Engvall, Korzak, JT Compher, or Brandon Tanev. Larkin had a good piece of a Daily Faceoff, obviously. Check it out, dailyfaceoff.com. He had Brendan Gallagher in his list as well. JT Compher, Ryan Graves, Kotkaniemi, and Morgan Riley. Compher, I'm in the same boat as Kotkaniemi, where if they bite the bullet and buy him out, and he's like, hey, I'll sign for $1.5 million, I'd be intrigued by that.
Yeah.
He'd be your 4C, right?
Ability to probably move up if you ever needed him to, like a good, what would you call him, like safety net?
Yeah.
I mean, he was the 3rd overall pick not that long ago. He's an interesting one. He's probably, I mean, we've talked about and discussed it. Like, I would have interest in Brendan Gallagher on a cheap deal. I think I love his just like
That's got to be
tenacity, but that's
got to be
league
Curtis Lazar.
minimum, $1 million most. Comfort, maybe. Riley is interesting because I do think he is probably the highest ceiling out of the 5 guys on this list that we have here.
Morgan Riley?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's getting bought out. He's getting traded.
What's his buyout?
His buyout is not so good that it makes sense for the Leafs. Like, I still think it makes more sense for the Leafs to just retain 50%.
Superwing says...
Sorry, if they buy him out this year, I just hit the calculator button. They say $4 million, $4 million, $4 million, and then it's a $2 million penalty for 4 more years.
Gotcha.
I just don't... they'll find a home for him. They will.
Superwing says, Red Wings fan here. Compher has fallen off hard. Avoid. Would you pay for him to be a... Like, what was he... Would you pay for him to be a 13th forward or something like that? Morgan Riley will go to San Jose. Mm-hmm. Brendan Gallagher can skate for 30 seconds and he's gassed.
He's 1 year removed from being a 20-goal guy.
Gallagher?
Yeah. And he's not 38. He's 34.
Yeah.
The idea
Very
that
young.
he could have a resurgence in a new spot and a little bit of a second life here is not insane.
I think all those guys.
Yeah.
Like, your career's not over because you had one bad season. I mean, sometimes it is, obviously, but like 9 times out of 10, you can find a role if you're willing to adapt. And I always go back to this, and not to be repetitive, but it's just the case of Chris Russell.
Yeah.
He wasn't a $4 million player, but as soon as he became a $1 million player, it was like, God, this guy's good. What great value. It's like, well, the same guy's been here for 5 years. You just didn't like him the previous 4 because he made too much money.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's the same with Superwing and what he thinks of Compher. Like, if Compher's a $1 million guy, maybe.
Corey Perry in 2019-2020, so that was 6 years ago, scored 5 goals in 57 games for the Dallas Stars. And it was kind of like, yeah. Corey Perry's on his last legs. And then flash forward 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons later, he was a 20-goal guy with the Oilers.
I think another thing, too, is you take someone like, let's just use Gallagher as the example, bless you.
Thanks.
Like, true professional. Mm-hmm. Very vocal leader, leaves everything on the ice, it feels like. If he has a down season like he looks like he did this year, and now he's going to get bought out, don't you trust that guy to just give it all this summer to get back to a standard?
If the bet is $900,000, yes.
That's what I mean.
If the bet is $1.8 million, no.
For sure, but like, he has to now earn another contract.
Oh, yeah.
And prove it to the league, because it's not only him to earn one contract, he needs to prove he can get a second contract after that too, and then who knows after that. But yeah, I don't know. I think you have to believe in those guys a little bit to get it going. Kotkaniemi's an interesting one just because he's younger than most of the other guys on that list.
Yeah.
Maybe
he's 25.
Is that how old he is?
That's why he's eligible for the buyout.
Damn. I thought everyone was just eligible for buyouts, but I guess it's that
it's
cheaper one.
The 1/3, not the 2/3, which is why, like, again, Carolina's going to do it because they aren't playing him, and the buyout penalty is just $850K across the board for 8 years. They don't give a shit about that. Someone must have scored in the World Cup.
No, it's over. They tied.
Oh.
I wonder if they found out
Sounded
who it
like
was.
a dog.
Yeah, it did. But like Kotkaniemi, this year was bad. 2 goals in 42 games. His shooting percentage dropped to 4.8%, by the way.
Damn.
Previous seasons, 12 goals, all at 5-on-5. The year before that, 12 goals, 11 of them, or actually, I should say even strength. 12 at even strength, 11 at even strength, 15 at even strength, 12 at even strength in just 66 games. If you signed him for $2 million, he probably comes in and, again, there needs to be some amount of like career resurgence here and some willingness from the player to be like, I'm going to like commit myself this summer to I'm going to learn how to be a great penalty killer. Like I'm going to pick up on these certain things. I'm going to, be a dog in the faceoff circle, although he's been north of 50% in the 4 years before this one. There's certain things you need to see from the player to make it worth it, but I totally see a path to Jesperi Kotkaniemi being a very, very interesting buy low candidate for the Oilers. Now, he needs to be willing to come to a big market and all of these other things. And again, do the work. But if I talk to the player and I'm Stan Bowman and I get that vibe from him, I would have a very easy time signing him to, like, I'm not talking like Brendan Gallagher where it's like, I'll sign you for $900K. I could be convinced with Kotkaniemi to be like, do you want a 2-year deal at $2.25 million a year?
Yeah, maybe. Because you think, like, he can hit... He's got the potential to get that.
Yeah.
Production-wise. Maybe you get Vasily on the phone. Be like, hey, man, like, I was stranded, basically.
I was in the same spot you were.
Even... I know he's different for off-ice stuff. Like, Zach Cassidy was considered, like, a bust first-round pick, and he came to Edmonton and had a couple good seasons, and he was great. Like... The Oilers have proven in the past through different regimes as well that guys can come here and they can get things back on the rails and moving in the right direction and earn more money and the opportunity to win. I think he's a good option.
Yeah.
I like him.
All right.
I'm back on board.
There you go. That was our first question for our friends at Capital GMC Buick. What?
It's just funny.
That our first question comes that late in the show?
Yeah. Nobody will want to come to Edmonton if Babcock gets the job. Oil need to lock down a coach first. Yeah. Tyler and Liam, how do you feel about Rasmus Ristolainen from Philly?
Straight up for Darnell Nurse, I'm in.
Okay. I mean, I don't really care for Rasmus Ristolainen. I just mean in the sense of like, he's the one guy, he's just our John Gibson now. Well, like every summer you just hear these names. Like, oh, what if they move Ristolainen? Or what if they would move Gibson? Stuff like that. I mean, he played in the playoffs for the first time. Makes a lot of money. Makes less than Nurse. Maybe he's an option. If it is 1-for-1, I wouldn't hate that. Because he's a right shot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he
and
is.
maybe you just kind of... That's interesting because you could go about it from a couple angles of like, well, we're probably going to have to pay Connor Murphy close to $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between Ristolainen and Murphy, off the top of my head, I don't know. Like, they're both defensive guys. We know that. And then we just say we now have 4 and whatever it would be, 4.25 to go and get another third-liner player and a bottom-pairing defenseman. Maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. There was that news yesterday, too, as someone put in there. Didn't John Carlson say he wants to go back to the East?
Pierre LeBrun reporting he wants to go east. The feeling around Carlson is he's going to hit the open market. That's why Anaheim has kind of emerged in the Morgan Riley, Darnell Nurse side of things. Because they just need D-men. Yeah. Apparently, Pierre LeBrun also reported Jacob Trouba maybe wouldn't mind going back out east. And he maybe wants to hit free agency.
Oh, I didn't know he was a free agent. Interesting. Well, those are 2 big pieces for the Ducks as they try and reestablish their culture there.
All right. One piece of news. Utah gave Tournier a 1-year extension. That from Dave Pagnotta.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
So he's not going to be a lame duck head coach, I guess, right? Because he had 1 more year left. Now he's going to have a second year tacked on.
Do you know who still has 1 year left on his deal?
Who?
Jared Bednar.
Dun dun. Although Joe Sakic came out and was like, we're not firing him.
Don't have to fire him. Got no contract this time next year.
Yeah. Okay. Wrapping up the show for our friends at Bet365. Every sports fan will tell you that not all games are created equal. Sometimes the excitement just isn't there. Sometimes you get a dud. It happens. But at Bet365, boring games are a thing of the past. Now there's always a reason to tune in, even if the score isn't one of them. And while they can't make every game exciting, they can help fans get excited about every game. Bet365, download the app today. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Liam, World Cup talk for the day. What do you got?
Portugal just drew with DR Congo.
Okay.
1-1.
And that's stunning.
To an extent. Okay. I think this is very interesting World Cup so far because every game. I've watched pretty much all of them, I have to be honest.
Okay.
It's been awesome. It's such a close field. Like every team seems to have like moments in games where they're really giving it to the other team. Capo Verde, I think is how you say it, had a great draw the other day in Spain. Let's keep that 0-0. And I think in that game, there was 2 things that were great. The first one was they only gave up 1 foul throughout the entire game, which shows a level of discipline. and they only had one shot on target, but it felt like when they did get the ball back, they really did try and play, which is big. England play today. That is going to be
Croatia.
Yeah, the Croatians, our kryptonite.
And they're a pesky bunch there.
Yes, they are. They finished third at the last World Cup and second at the one prior. They knocked us out in the semifinals of 2018. You obviously have to qualify for all these tournaments. In 2008, they knocked us out in qualifying for the European Championships. Like, Croatia has always been a thorn in the English sides. Yeah. So we'll see. I think England have a really good chance to win the tournament. Try and be unbiased on that, but I would say they're probably the third or fourth best team in this whole thing. France yesterday looked sick. And then later on, I think it's Colombia, Uzbekistan, who we saw the other week at Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Weather was as good as it is right now.
Ghana, Panama.
Yeah, it's in Toronto.
Okay. Which one of those is most likely to be a draw out of those
Both
three?
of them.
Really?
I would say, I think Ghana, Panama, probably if I had to pick one of the two, I would say that one. England, Croatia probably has a great chance to be a draw. And I think that Colombia should be able to handle Uzbekistan. But again, like a lot of these teams it's been very close games, all of them. Like even yesterday, I stayed up till midnight watching Austria versus Jordan. Like, who does that? Why are we doing? Why are these games starting at 9 p.m.? Crazy. I did see some people in England know. There was an article on The Athletic being like how it's ridiculous. I didn't say ridiculous. It's like how there's no World Cup fever in England because like the games are played throughout the night. And it's like, okay, well I have to wake up at 7:30 every Saturday morning to watch Bolton Wanderers play. And sometimes it's just what people do, and we're just on the flip side of it this year. It's been great. I love it so much, and I think the fans have been so good. The atmospheres just seem amazing. Messi yesterday, holy moly, what a game!
A hat trick.
Yeah, he had a fourth goal disallowed, but he should have been sent off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he should have big time. Whoa! I shouldn't have said that. Go on. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Messi anymore. I'm sorry.
If
That
you
was
parlay
crazy.
the ties for both those last games, 25 and a 370.
Draws have been paying out.
Draws are paying out. The Spain Capo Verde was plus 1,200
Yeah.
for a draw.
Blue Jays in action tonight. Max Scherzer on the mound. So you know what that means, everybody. Take the over and don't bet on the Blue Jays because he stinks.
No Phil Foden or Cole Palmer for England now. That's okay. Harry Kane will guide us.
All right. I should probably let you go because that match starts in, about an hour, actually.
47 minutes.
All right. We'll giddy up.
Are you nervous?
Pardon?
Are you nervous?
No, I don't particularly care. We got to move out of our studio. Tomorrow we're back downstairs. Time to start renting this bad boy out as an actual Airbnb. That sucks. Sucks. I do love our time up here every year, though.
This is my least favorite part of the season.
Yeah,
Today specifically.
moving day. So, anyways, thank you to everybody in the YouTube chat. Great stuff as always. Tomorrow we're back. Not sure who our guest is yet. We got Panyota and Ryder still on the docket this week. I just don't know what order we're doing them in.
Ooh, exciting.
Maybe a special guest. Maybe. But Kate, that's a wrap. Everybody have a great Wednesday. Stay dry. Oil up. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.